I've always believed that some of the most interesting parts of any historical building are the ones you don't get to see on the tour. That's what one of my listeners, Rebecca, a former guide for one of the historic buildings in town, told me when she submitted this story. She loved her job, but she quickly learned that, for every ornate parlor or grand staircase on display, there were shadowed corridors and locked doors that visitors were never able to see. Most of the time it was for practical reasons, places that were too dangerous, too fragile, or just too unremarkable to include in the official tour. But there was one particular door, passed by every guest on every tour, that even the guides weren't allowed to open. Behind it, so the rumors went, was a small red sitting room. No one knew exactly why it had been sealed off, but the stories surrounding it were unsettling. Some said it was a perfectly preserved Victorian sitting room, untouched by time or dust, but everything, was a striking, almost unnatural shade of red. The upholstered walls, the rugs, the furniture, even the ceiling. And those who entered, if the stories were true, never left the same. Rebecca said she never thought much of the rumors, until the summer a new guide was hired. The new guide had a fascination with ghost stories, and the moment he heard about the red sitting room, he became obsessed. He asked about it constantly, tried to piece together bits of gossip from longtime guides and maintenance staff, and even tried to find blueprints of the building to confirm whether the room was really there. Rebecca was a little concerned, but after all, the door was locked. The new guide could theorize all he wanted. There was no way inside. Anyway, Rebecca thought that, if the door were opened, it would probably just be a closet with water damage or something even less interesting. Until one morning, Rebecca arrived early to prepare for the day's tours and noticed something strange. That locked door was open, and someone was collapsed in the doorway half inside the room. It was the new guide. Rebecca rushed forward, meaning to help, but in doing so, she made a terrible mistake. She looked inside. Then she blacked out. One moment, she was at the doorway. The next, she was sitting in a chair, paramedics shining a light in her eyes. The police were there. So was her supervisor. The new guide? Gone. Rebecca quit her job soon after that. She never saw the new guide again, and she never spoke about what she saw inside the red sitting room. Not because she didn't remember, but because she could never, ever forget. Whatever was in there wasn't just red. It was wrong. And if a single glimpse left her shaken to this day, she can only imagine what happened to the guide who saw the whole thing. She just hopes that door has been bolted shut for good.